So this winter, there was a book announcement that sent me basically running to Rabbi Harper's office. I was so excited, just short of it. And it's collaboration between Emmanuel Acho and Noah Tishby. Emmanuel Acho, a former NFL linebacker, turned activist, New York Times bestselling author of Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. And Noah Tishby, an actress turned activist, and the New York Times bestselling author of Israel, A Simple Guide to the Most Misunderstood Country on Earth. I love both of their work, and I was really excited. And I said to Rabbi Harper, this book's going to be something. We should 100% read this book. We should do something with it. And so we committed to a summer institute class about it before the book was published. The book first edition of the book, which is this, I pre-ordered it the second I could, came out in April. It was so quick to the presses that this one has a bunch of typos in it. Any of the Hebrew, completely backwards in this edition of the book, was fixed later. It was a book that was in progress prior to October 7th. October 7th happened, and there was a renewed sense of urgency to get this book out. And so there were a few typos in the process of getting there that have now been fixed if you go buy it at this point. So many of us, some of us who are here tonight, have been reading this book and studying it over the course of the summer. And one of the conversations we've had is that this book is not for us. This is the book you buy for your Christian neighbor. And also this book is very much for us because it prompts a lot of important conversations and forces us to look at our own self-perception. We've talked about a lot of things this summer through the lens of this book. We've looked at power and privilege and race. We've talked about trauma, Jewish intergenerational trauma, and how we carry that with us. We've talked about identity, about who we are, how we're viewed by the world, and what that means for us. And so on Tuesday, when we had our final session of class, I said, I'll see some of you at Shabbat. I'm speaking, I don't know about what yet, and Susan said this. So this is all Susan's fault. Susan said, this is what you need to speak about. This is what's important. So I listened to Susan and wanted us to be able to reflect on a few passages from the book together tonight. So Emmanuel Acho, the structure of the book is Emmanuel mostly asks questions, offers some commentary, and then Noah responds. And so this is a piece from Emmanuel, and he says, it's fascinating to me that Jewish people don't want to claim the power that they have. I'm more than happy, as a Black man, to say I am wealthy. I've worked tirelessly to get to where I am in life, but it's like y'all are Superman but want to act like Clark Kent. But I can see that S on your chest underneath the suit. I see the cape. I'm not saying that y'all run the world, but at least acknowledge that you're Superman. So an external perspectives on a Jewish relationship to our own power. The conversation continues, and Emmanuel talks about conversations he's had with his agents, all of the people in his sphere and his team have predominantly been white Jewish men. And a conversation with them about if he should do an interview with a Palestinian activist post-October 7th. And they all encouraged him not to, and that this would not be good for his career. And this was Noah's response. Jews in positions of power are finally using their gatekeeping abilities to make an important judgment call against something that could be damaging and hurtful to Jewish people and potentially to your career. The experience of Jewish people putting their foot down is new because up until now, they've been staying out of the fray or being Clark Kent, because that's essentially our survival instinct. Despite the fact that we've made some incredible achievements that seem unlikely from a small group of people who until the past 75 years have not had the consistent freedom to own a home, live where they want, hold any job they want, have equal citizenship, get elected to office, or live day to day without the fear of being murdered. A shift in our perspective on power. How Emmanuel's seeing it and saying, why don't you own this? And Noah saying, well, we're just maybe starting to think about it. And she also talks about what happens when Jews do own our power, right? And what are the tropes, the anti-Semitic tropes that come back about Jewish control in the world, right? And fear and the relationship back and forth in there. How do you stand in your own space, not take up too much space, but also take up enough space, but also be able to step back so you aren't seen too much? And this back and forth, and this tension of modern Jewish existence that wears on us. This experience for ourselves and the experience of generations before us are layers of collective trauma. And that was a big theme that we talked through. Understanding trauma responses and the impact of intergenerational trauma. So Noah writes this, which resonated with many of us. We are plagued by the biologically ingrained fear of being rounded up for that success, because every single Jewish person is a descendant of someone who was sitting in a kitchen somewhere in the world, looked around at the family and said, we have to get out of here. It's about to hit the fan. We carry that with us, and as a result, we've internalized the knowledge that if we sit quietly, not drawing too much attention, not ruffling any feathers, and not upsetting anybody, maybe we'll be left alone. Some of us in this conversation identified with these ideas, some didn't. It's a diversity of experience. It's about how we're raised. It's about the communities we grew up in. It's about Holocaust survivors and the family journeys. There are so many pieces that change what our experiences are. But it brought me back to a piece that circulated on social media in maybe November, talking about lifting up a Jewish thing that many of us do, but don't ever talk about or maybe even acknowledge to ourselves, which is log in our head, where would I go if I needed to hide? Whose house would I go to? Who would take me? My husband and I realized we had both had that conversation in our own heads, never shared it with each other, and October 7th made us share it with each other. So we're gonna acknowledge this once, we're gonna talk about what that place is, and we're not gonna say it again. Do I believe I need it? No. But is there enough in me that says we should talk about it? Yes. And that's Jewish trauma. That's what we carry. It's our lens through the world, and an important piece to understand how this gets ingrained. And one of the things Noah talks about is DNA, and specifically how trauma can code into your DNA. And she also talks about post-traumatic growth, what happens coming out of trauma, and relating that to the success of the Jewish people at large. She also says this. This is her end message to Jews reading this book. Loud and proud, baby, loud and proud. Stop hiding. We've tried that for generations, and it never works. We've tried to fit in or to be something that we are not for forever, and that software needs to be updated. Being Jewish is such an honor and has much to teach us. Who are we to hide it? One of my key mantras comes from the greatest of them all, Dolly Parton. She said that in life, one needs to find out who you are, then do it on purpose. So go learn about who you are and then do it on purpose. Be loud and proud of your Jewish identity. Learn the stories, enjoy the holidays, find your personal connection to this ancient tribe and embrace it. When real inner pride takes over our community and shines outwards, then anti-Semitism will be shoved in humanity's dusty back seat again where it belongs. Loud and proud, baby, loud and proud. We are in such a wild moment in time, and this summer has been strange. It's almost like there's been a bit of a pause, but not. College campuses had a big impact on that. College campuses have been quiet, everybody went home, and they're all coming back now. I think the volume's gonna turn back up for a bit. We're coming into High Holy Days. There's all the conversation about a deal. We're coming into the election. It's maybe, I don't know anything more than anyone else, and we may be coming in to some hard weeks ahead. And this is the piece I hope we can hold on to, that we're loud and proud about who we are, right? That we don't hide. Even if the inclination is to hide, we know that it doesn't work. So given that, why would we hide? We're loud and we're proud and we're right out in front. And then who are we to hide from this beautiful, incredible legacy of Jewish tradition that we carry on and our peoplehood? And so our message is that we're still here. We continue to live, and we'll continue to do that, loud and proud.
So when Rabbi Calman shared her words with me in her message, a moment in time and a feeling came about. The moment in time was when the entire staff and clergy of Temple Beth Elohim went to Washington, D.C., except for me, because we had to run the religious school, and supported our brothers and sisters around the entire country in a moment of rallying pride. And the Maccabees a musical group that you may be familiar with, actually wrote a song for Hanukkah 2023 that they brought to this rally and got, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of Jews to sing along together. So you'll hear, this is meant for many voices, so I encourage you to join me whenever I start singing, "We're Still Here," and Am Yisrael Chai. Tapestry of ages, history unfolds. One people, the unlikeliest of stories ever told. Tiniest of nations, casting light into the dark. Empires have risen, empires they fall. They wield their might against us, but we move on through it all. A lighthouse in the storm, a candle in the night. Through the ages, through the years, we're still here. Through the pain and through the tears, we'll persevere, we'll carry on. Am Yisrael adayin kan. So tonight we'll scream into the shadow. So tonight we'll keep this flame alive. In this fight we have us and we have hope. Hear us now, we say Am Yisrael Chai. Hear us now, we say Am Yisrael Chai. Hear us now, we say Am Yisrael Chai. Every heart an ember, every soul aflame, trying to extinguish it has always been the same. On and on it goes, but the fire still grows. Through the ages, through the years, we're still, through the pain and through the tears, we'll persevere, we'll carry on. Am Yisrael adayin kan. So tonight we'll scream into the shadow. So tonight we'll keep this flame alive. In this fight we have us and we have hope. Hear us now, we say Am Yisrael Chai. Hear us now, we say Am Yisrael Chai. Through the ages, through the years, we're still, through the pain and through the tears, we'll persevere, we'll carry on. Am Yisrael Chai v'kayam. So tonight we'll scream into the shadow. So tonight we'll keep this flame alive. In this fight we have us and we have hope. Hear us now, we say Am Yisrael Chai. So tonight we scream into the shadow. In this fight we'll keep this flame alive. In this fight we have us and we have hope. Hear us now, we say Am Yisrael Chai.